well, it was called a Mixology Masterclass, wasn't it? Which is really how we layer techniques. And I've got some of my firm favourites, just sitting over there. Yeah, so to hopefully do something interesting. But it's not all about me today. What I'd love to hear is other people's layering favourites as well, because you can always learn from someone else of what they like to use. And I might even try one on my lovely model I've got today. So before we go any further, my first layering product, well, of course it is, it's 7 seconds. Goes without saying. This is actually following on from using the 7 seconds shampoo and conditioner already at the backwash. So, as you can see, I do like to use a fair bit of this. You don't have to on clients, but I do because I know I'm going to blow dry the hell out of the hair. So I thought I would do some different sections, show maybe some volume in one area, show some smoothness in another, and just sort of go through the techniques, etc., and why, the what, whys and hows of why I'm using it. So, as per usual, let us know where you are in the world, say hello, forward any questions. Magic Mike's thumb is once again available to be seen very soon in Miami. You might, if you're going to Miami, you might see him. He might have the t-shirt with the thumb on. That's what we're looking for, is Magic Mike's thumb t-shirt. If you find Magic Mike's thumb on the t-shirt, he will film you. Like Liam Neeson, as I always said, he will find you. So he's guaranteed. What else have we got going on, Mike? We've got anything else? I'm trying to get him to talk on camera. He hates it.
Well, aren't you going to Australia for something?
Oh, I'm going to Australia. Yeah, any of the guys in Aussie that are watching, I'm looking forward immensely to seeing you starting next week. I fly out Monday, arrive probably 7 days later because you just travel forever to get there. We go by steamship across the Pacific, down past India, and then we get a cattle truck and we drive to Sydney. Now, we're flying in Sydney. Huh?
That's quite the adventure.
It should be. And then we get a tuk-tuk as well to finish it off. And then I'll get a kangaroo take me into Sydney itself. No, really looking forward to getting down to Oz. It's a great place. I've had two previous tours down there and it's amazing. So looking forward to seeing Bill and Sean and all the other guys. Some of the guys that I've actually worked with at Fashion Week, they're based down there. They're going to be joining us as well. So should be a really good one over a 2-week period where I'll be doing some of this. It's going to be all like very sort of runway inspired. So let's have a look. I'm balancing it up, thinking, what do I do? Volume first, or do we do smoothness? I'm going to throw in a little bit of volume, and I'm just going to sort of layer in products, and let's talk about what, whys, and hows, and also give a little variation of like what you could use as well. Now I've got two really good standout products here that are very sort of what I call misunderstood: creamy paste and booster thickening cream. Really, really good on this particular hair type, which is quite fine. Quite a lot of it, but reasonably fine. Does have quite a lot of natural movement in there as well, as you can see. So putting volume into this is relatively straightforward. Now, what would be the advantage of using these? Now, booster thickening cream, I think, is really good for hair of this type, especially on the root base. It really does plump the hair up really well. I think that's a great adjective to use, how it plumps the actual hair shaft, locks in moisture. And then creamy paste, which is a thickening cream, which is derived from kaolin clay, which is a really fine China clay. This is almost putting like an elastoplast on like broken areas of a hair shaft, etc. But it really binds the hair and adds an amazing amount of grip down at a root base. So what the hell, let's use both of them. In different areas, I'm going to put some creamy paste down here and put some booster thickening cream higher up. Let's just show you application-wise on that. And this is to start it off. This is like, you know, I'm being very specific about where they're going. So, you know, creamy paste, fingertips. So don't disguise this. People often see this when they first get Unite in. They see it in a puck and they think it's a styling wax, etc. The black lettering means it goes on wet hair. You have to blow dry this stuff in. A little secret tip for you, anyone who's got partners who've got a little bit of thinning hair, etc. Put some of this in it and dry it in. They'll love you for it. They'll suddenly feel like they've got the mane of Fabio again. So put a little bit of this in. You can laugh at my jokes, people. I know they're chronically bad, but you know they are dad jokes, being a granddad, so I am allowed them. Right, as you can see, scrunching that one in, And it dissipates on damp hair really, really well. Really, really nice. Obligatory towel to take some off my fingers. Got any comments yet, Mike? Any hellos?
Nothing yet.
Nothing. Well, the silence is golden. And the old classic, such a brand new bottle with silver foil to protect it is in there. So application wise on that one again. I'm just going to say, they do this to me all the time. They always give me a brand new one and leave the silver foil protectors on there and then laugh at me on camera because then none of it comes out. So
We like to watch you struggle.
exactly.
Yeah.
So very similar application on this. I'm applying it down to the root base and just working it up into the hair shaft. It's got a lovely fragrance of this. I don't know, like watermelony or not, I can't remember what it was, but really, really nice. Now, the beauty of that, the thickening cream over what I feel any other thickening product or volumizing product, there is no tackiness to it. It really is got a huge amount of slip to it, but there is no grip on it whatsoever when you blow dry it. So people that don't like having that tug in their hair, so very fragile hair, this would be really advantageous for. It's got a lot of stretch, but you don't really want to tug it with a brush if you've got sensitive scalps, etc. Booster volumizing cream would be an ideal product for that. And I'm going to just brush those through with the actual brush I'm going to use for styling when I do smooth hair. Right, let's crack on with the next one going in. One of my all-time favourites is going to be Elevate Mousse. One, because it's got argan oil in there. So it actually aids the actual application, drying, and the softness of the hair. Comes out like whipped cream. Look at that, it's amazing. Give it a good shake, pop it out. You can see like a little, what I call it, golf ball size for that section of hair, because you can use copious amounts of this and it'll be absolutely fine. Great word, that one on a Wednesday morning. Found that one in the thesaurus last night. Midnight reading. Words of the day. Copious amount. This is the only time I actually prove I got educated at school. I don't use it the rest of the time. Words of a lie. I did some writing on the board a couple of weeks ago, and Stacey came in here and said, "Whose writing is that?" And I said, "That is mine. That is my cursive writing." After doing 300 lines a day for many years. So I'll go and do it again. I heard it's a dying art. What are you laughing about?
Just 300 lines a day sounds like it'd be rough on your heart.
On my heart? What, writing?
Just kidding.
Now we did actually write. Did you have those books where you had like the letters on the top? And we didn't trace them, we had to go right underneath them.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm dealing with a 2-year-old right now that's got the tracing version. So.
Oh, right. Yeah. Gifted. And that's in Chinese, Russian, and everything else.
She can count to 10 in Spanish. She's getting there.
No way.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Starts off at 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10.
The accent's not as good. But
Really? I'll teach you, mate. I'll teach you. That's just the difference. I learnt Spanish in obviously Europe, so we do what we call the old King Spanish, but it's just different. I speak Spanish over here. No one understands me anyway. They don't understand my English, let alone my Spanish. Right, we've got down to 7 seconds, creamy paste, booster thickening cream, and Elevate Mousse. Now, as a little bonus, I'm going to use this one. I'm going to use this on all types because I think it gets left behind. Blow and Set Lotion is an amazing product. It doesn't necessarily add loads and loads of volume, but it does have a great shine content to it. I'm going to use a small amount in the hand. Do the old do that business. Well, that's quite fashionable these days, isn't it? Yeah, I can't stand it either.
the thumbnail for the live, man.
It's a thumbnail for the live now, yeah. And I'm just going to put that, application-wise, mid-length to ends. Now, the most exciting part of the video is going to be right now when I'm going to start blow drying. But we can talk about blow drying while I'm doing it. The ins and outs of blow drying, successful blow drying. So, now I've got a nice little amount of product on there. I'm happy with that. Look at that, comb goes through the hair really, really easily as well. It's not getting tugged in there whatsoever. I'm going to separate that hair off. And hair type, as I said before, you know, fine, a lot of it. It has been coloured, so there is a different set of porosity value to this. So that will influence how we're going to dry it. Do we want to rough dry all the hair first, etc.? Or do you want to go in from soaking wet? Now, there's two different schools of thought on that. Some hair responds really, really well to be blow dried from really soaking wet, and some hair doesn't. So some hair you have to wrap dry it and then go into styling it, and others respond. And I think it's always a good part of your consultation value for a new client is just to actually find that question out. It's very rarely overheard that asked, but I used to ask it all the time, especially people with wavy curly hair. The hair would straighten better if it was blow dried from soaking wet. The process of that being the stretch value of when you're taking the alpha to beta keratin process in the blow drying process of, excuse me, COVID's back, big and large. No, when you are stretching the hair and manipulating it into the shape you want, some hair just works better from being soaking wet. So try that one out. You don't always have to rough dry absolutely everything. So brush size, I'm going to use something of a medium variety. You know, at the end of the day, that's just a setting roller with a handle, and let's just pop into that. Any questions so far, Mike? We're good? Nothing. No one's even tuned in.
Oh, I've had some people tuned in, yeah.
We're lucky. Right, let's pop in. Let's kick this. I'm going to do this quickly. So, blow drying process, I'm going to start stretching the hair from the root base, working it all the way through, and just changing the fabric of the hair into something, hopefully, that will look rather nice and glamorous. Let's get on there. Right, halfway through. Let's see what I'm looking for at this point in moment in time. I'm looking the hair to start being manipulated and start changing its shape. I'm looking to see, you know, how it's responding. The actual, when I'm feeling the hair, I'm looking to think how quickly that cools down. Is it cooling down really fast after excessive heat? Because then I know there's still water in there. Also, what is interesting, I'm starting to get this really nice little tug on there. That's the creamy paste in that root base. That's what's giving me that. That is what is forcing me to get some nice bit of volume and some guts into that root base. So let's crack on. Right, observation number 2. What I'm getting through here now is a little bit of a tug on the ends of the hair. That is where most likely the hair is going to be in its most porous state. It's going to hang on to water in there from the old colour, etc. So I'm going to pay some particular attention to that. I don't mind, I won't always have the hairdryer on, it's not necessary. I've put the heat in there and I'm just going to start letting that heat stay in there on the brush and just keep working the hair, and as it cools, that is where we're changing the shape of it. Okay, so I can look at that straight away and find I'm getting some nice movement, as you can see from there. Look at the volume on that, creamy paste, doing it again. So it needs a little bit more drying time on there, but we're nearly good. There's a great comment I heard a long time ago from one of our good friends on here who uses Unite all the time, Kevin Ryan, a great session stylist up in New York, and he always said you can't underestimate the good power or the power of a good round brush blow dry. And it's just something, you know, I did this when I first started hairdressing many moons ago, purely because that's what was required. We were working on permed hair, then it went on to the big blow dried hair of the 80s and 90s hair as well, and then the Victoria's Secret looks, and just learning how to manipulate hair and also to put great volume, great shine in the hair. And as you can see through here, there's not a lot of curl going on in that. I would just have to sort of increase the amount of twist I do in the brush, or just go down a brush size if I want to put curl into that. Now, little tip for you now, if I'm going to pin set this, if the hair was very curly, I could leave that ends out without rolling them in. Why would I do that? It's because naturally wavy curly hair would have a tendency to go too curly on the ends compared to the root base, unless you actually wanted that look. So leaving those ends out will just keep them smoother and straighter. Anything to add, Mike?
Yeah, to this?
Yeah.
I actually have a question that
Go on.
feels relevant to the topic. If you're combining products, is there any reason to put two or more in the hand at the same time or in the hair at the same time, or is it best to always layer?
We've found, or I especially found, I found actually layering them has just been more beneficial, because you've got different strengths from each product, and then I want to, placement of them as well. It just makes it different. I just found we've just had slightly better results from our layering method as opposed to trying to cocktail them.
Yeah.
Cocktailing is too confusing, especially to clients. It's okay maybe for hairdressers, but to clients it's like, well, if you mix this with this, they think, well, why do I need two products when I should only have one? All I'm showing is that we've got the benefit of you can use multiple products without destroying the dexterity or the fabric of the hair, actually enhancing it and how safe it is to use them and how they complement one another. I'm getting the benefits out of each one.
Great.
Mike must be a nightmare to live with, because he probably goes home to his other half and tells her all these tips, and she's thinking, what the hell do you know? You're just a videographer. But,
For just about every topic. Every time I learn something new.
Yeah, and then you go home, you give her all the wisdom of your years behind the camera.
Maybe they call that mansplaining, right?
I don't know. So I'm effectively rough drying the hair on this one, even though I'm using a brush. I'm just pulling that root base all over, all directions. Just go back, turn that dryer off, go back to what I was doing before, make sure I'm stretching that root base. And as you can see, like the brush just riding through this section, it's just a little bit easier. It doesn't have the same tug on it. The tug is coming from the ends of the hair, but the root base really, really smooth to ride through, and that's that booster volumizing cream. So my little tip for you, if you are having trouble when you blow dry and really porous hair, get rid of your hair dryer, say what, warm it up and just keep working that brush through as the hair cools. You will find that hair will start manipulating and getting around the brush. And this is what I'm after, is that the hair will ride around the brush without any unnecessary tugging. And that's when I know that the hair's dried off thoroughly and we're starting to get a good result. So if I've got an unnecessary pull on it, etc., the water's not all out, you haven't dissolved the product enough, etc., just carry on working that. And it's at this point we do really start to change the shape of the hair, and then we can really sort of like finalise it and finish it off, put it into that professional finish that we're after. And as you can see, I don't have to keep moving the brush up and down with the hairdryer on it. I can just add heat and then come back in with it with a brushwork and just keep letting that hair cool down around the brush, keep moving it. I'm using some excessive root drag as well, so overextension on the root drag. Pop that in, and we'll use a little setting pin right there, put it on the root base. You can say we're starting to get some nice volume on this one. Relatively easy as well. So even though I'm using like, a brush that's probably too big for that section, you never know. You might not have all your kit with you one day. There is still alternatives. You still can do it. Anything, Mike? We're putting everyone to sleep today. It's because it's a Wednesday. They've got Wednesday blues. Astrid's back. What's going on, Astrid?
My daughter got married this past weekend.
What?
Yeah.
She got married?
She got married.
Where? Oh. We didn't get an invite, Mike. Didn't get an invite as a wedding crasher. What's going on? So same principle again, even though I'm working the hair slightly differently. Picking the hair up, twisting it round in the brush, just letting it cool in that brush, and then I can work it out into that finished area. Like so. So we've got some nice volume on there. So that we're going to let that set. Let's get into the actual smoothing side. No one's given me their own recipes yet for layering.
Oh yeah.
Well, they must find this amazing. What have you been doing playing around with all my products? They've been moving a whole lot of them around. So let's look at smoothing. One all-time favourite obviously is going to be argan oil, U-oil. This cuts down blow drying time. So I look at this, it's like when you wax polish a car, the water beads and disperses really well and doesn't join together. This has a very, very similar effect when you're putting it on wet hair to blow drying. So I'm going to actually start with a little bit of this just to initiate product in the hair. So once again, dealing with certain hair types, you use the amount according of what you want. So let's put some of that through. It's going to add some nice slip to it. Now, out of choice, I've got, it was around somewhere, he's moved it, that's why, Laser Straight. So Laser Straight is a smoothing product. It's not there to destroy volume, you can actually keep volume in the hair, so really, really good alternative. It's misunderstood and people think it's going to be bone straight. The 90s look is back, that real poker fine sort of straight, like a sheet glass look is in. As a viable alternative, I really do like, because of the nature of the hair, that porosity I was talking about, smooth and shine. So that's definitely going to go on mid-lengths and ends. So let's put a little bit of Laser Straight, root base, quantity-wise, not using a huge amount. All right, let's put some of that root base in there. It's got a wonderful smell, wonderful aroma. There we go. Nothing wrong with having wonderful aromas in your products. Is it like cookies and cream or something like that? Not cookies and cream. It's like it's cookie dough, isn't it? That's what it is. It's the cookie dough smell. Don't drink it. Don't try this. And then I'm going to use Smooth and Shine mid-length and ends, purely because of the porosity and that stretch that is in the hair. So I want to nullify that, and this is great product for that. When I road tested this when we first had it, I was using it on full bleached heads, trying it out, and it really was what I thought was a game changer for hair that is compromised. So even though this hair is not bleached, it still had, you know, some sort of colour on there that's just changed the porosity value, and it's going to make me work harder. Now for this, I'm going to use my brush of choice. It's going to be like the Denman style, because I wanted to show this because I saw a lot of people blow drying bobs recently. They were using round brushes. I don't say you can't use them, but all I say is I just don't recommend them, especially around the root base in the back, because you could sometimes get an inconsistency of your blow dry. You might not lift it up as much as the next time, etc. Blah, 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 blah. So consequently, when you first do it, if you blow dry it with this and you go to recut it or just streamline it, when the client does it and they don't do the same lift in the back of the hair, they might have a little different line. So to try and be more consistent, I always recommend blow dry your hairlines with a Denman style brush. Get back into using these little babies. They're great for that. They are old school, but if we want to go back to those old school 90s blow dries, super smooth, I think they're game changers for you. So as I say, it's not wrong, it's just different. Makes your life easier. Maybe it's a forgotten technique. So to use one of these, I just pull the hair back on a diagonal, and then all I do is I introduce the brush in the root base and roll it. And you would do that both sides, etc., etc. So let's get cracking with that. Let's just hopefully show how easy it is to manipulate the hair like that. Right, things to look out for when I'm blow drying the hair through here. As you can see, very, very easy. It's just that smoothing technique down to the very ends. Okay, you're not going to get an excessive twist on the ends like you would do with a round brush to make the ends curl under, unless that is what you specifically want. So it's going to help you with that. You see, these are absolutely imperative to use if you're wrap drying any sort of like textured hair, etc. They will really help stretch that root base out, get it nice and smooth. But what I want you to know also is that I'm not getting any tug on this whatsoever. I literally could use my thumb and forefinger on the brush, and you're finding there's no tug on that on your hair, is there? It's riding through really smooth. So that is the benefit of Smooth and Shine. So there we go, sheet glass one side, super smooth, really effortlessly. Let's recap just what products I've used on that. We've gone through with, obviously 7 seconds, gone through all the hair, both sides. Through here, we had laser straight and then smooth and shine put on mid lengths and ends. We've had a tiny bit of U oil in there just to give it some initial slip. The U oil is already in smooth and shine as well, but I just could give it a little bit extra. That's what layering technique is all about. On this side, obviously 7 seconds, we had on the bottom creamy paste, elevate mousse, and some blow and set to add a little bit more shine. And on the top we used booster volumizing cream with elevate mousse and the blow and set over the top of that as well. So we've got some nice contrast on this side. Let's take those pins out. Let's have a look at volume against smoothness. Well, as you can see there, we have now got the side-by-side classic little bit of volumed bob against a smooth bob. Let's have a look at that. Pop in that way. Yeah, it's cool. All right, there you go. Little side-by-side for you. I hope you found that interesting. There is loads of other permutations. As I said, drop us a line. Let us know what your variations on them are. The next live is going to be Salon Socials. What's that going to involve? Your social content, your social media, obviously.
I would imagine, yeah.
Yeah.
You can't just be
Wouldn't
hanging,
they? You would-
hanging
you
out at the salon.
You certainly wouldn't have me in there, would you? Because I'm not very social, and I'm not in a salon. So, you know, that's pardon?
How you market your business and social media?
Well, I'd like to think so. Social media being the biggest animal on the planet now, of like how you should be thoroughly aware of it and how you market it is massive. You know, when we were doing hairdressing, we were told to go out and network. Now you don't have to. You can get that little thing that we're recording this on. Do a lot of your networking on there. It's such a powerful tool. Do I wish I had it when I first started? I don't know. It should have just been different. But you all learn to use it, and I cannot deny that has been a very, very powerful tool, even in the environment I work in now, for introduction of, be it makeup artists, models, fashion brands, designers, all that other stuff that goes on there. The first thing they look at now, they don't even look. You might know this as a model. They don't look for my portfolio of work anymore. They just ask for my Instagram account. So that's how powerful it is. And all the shows we do, I generally put them all on there, or a good majority of them. I put them on my Gary Baker Unite account, because that is the professional site. I don't put any personal stuff on there. That's what we do on from a professional basis, and I like to keep it that way, nice and clean. So that's my marketing tool on there. The date of that is Tuesday the 20th of May, as per usual, 20th at 10 a.m, because I'll be down in Oz, mate. Maybe I'll be able to tune in from there. That's with Ali. Ali's back, because she's not coming to Miami. Sore point, but his daughter's graduating, I believe. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, good for her. Anyway, hope you enjoyed that. It's always thoroughly good to see a side by side, I think. Gives us a nice sort of like variation, nice bounce on that, great shine as well. Or actually, that might give you a little foretaste of what we're going to be doing in our live video today as well. So, I won't see you again until we're doing a live from Miami.
Oh, we have to, yeah.
We've got to do it, haven't
Yeah,
we?
definitely.
We've got to do something from Miami.
Yeah.
So hopefully I'll see all you guys when we're at Miami Swim Week. We've actually, just between you and me and everyone, 3 million people out there watching this, we've got a couple of really good shows in that one as well. A couple of really great, well-known designers. So, till the next time, adieu, see you then.